And well, we're going to talk about fluoride and fluoride in the water system.
Yeah, let me preface my remarks by mentioning that fluoride in the water system and the deterioration of our soils, glyphosate coming out of the Monsanto Roundup product, and of course, mRNA injections, the jab, are really all part of this corporate government juggernaut that has been degrading human health for a very long time. So you could look at fluoride in a way that would be similar to the way you would look at mRNA injections. There are these government experiments that are declared to be miracles, and yet they have this seriously ugly underbelly. Anyway, it's important to take, Patrick was doing just a minute ago, to take stock of things. Utah, let's see this one, let's show this headline. Utah becomes the first state to ban fluoride in its water in terms of statewide. And they're following concerns raised by HHS Secretary RFK Jr., and this is according to the BBC, that the mineral fluoride poses potential health risks. The Utah Governor Spencer Cox signed the ban into law this week. It took effect just 2 days ago, May 7th. Other states, including Florida and Ohio, are weighing similar legislation. Fluoride has been added to U.S. drinking water since 1945. Speaking of 80th anniversaries, right? Moving on from there, Florida did something very pivotal. They've become the second state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. This is dated 3 days ago, and this comes from Children's Health Defense. And Governor DeSantis said Florida is ending fluoridation because, quote, when you do this in the water supply, you're taking away choices of people who may not want to have overexposures. And let's move on and outline this a little bit more. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on the 6th of May said he'll sign the bill banning the addition of fluoride to public drinking water, making Florida the second state statewide to do this. And this ban will take effect July 1st. There's a little bit of a concern there. This has happened with laws to restrict abortion. They advance a wide timeline before a law will take effect, and it provides an opportunity for pro-fluoride forces, the American Dental Association, et cetera, to file lawsuits and then kind of bottleneck this sort of legislation from taking effect. At any rate, the Florida bill is Senate Bill 700, also known as the Florida Farm Bill. It passed the state house by a whopping 88-27, a pretty good mandate there in the state house in Tallahassee, sending the bill to the governor's desk. We got a couple quotes from DeSantis that outline this pretty well. When you do this in the water supply, you're taking away a choice of someone who may not want overexposure to fluoride. Now, he's enunciating a very important principle there. Even if fluoride was the greatest thing in the world, you still don't have the right to mass medicate everyone through the common water supply because not everyone has the same tolerances. Not everyone should even have fluoride to begin with. Even aspirin can be good for some people and bad for others. So the principle of fluoride has always been wrong. I mean, if human immunity is a problem, why not put vitamin C in the water, right? If people are depressed, why not put Prozac in the common water? That would be the same wrong principle. At any rate, there's one other quote from Mr. DeSantis that's worth putting up. We don't want local governments unilaterally injecting a chemical into the water supply and exposing people to potentially harmful side effects. Another important principle there. What's the point in pointing out fluoride's hazards, things like that, and making some good strides in this issue and having a statewide moratorium on these things if local governments then have the local authority to put the fluoride in anyway? So it's very important to have a blanket law within the state so you don't have these renegade localities putting this dangerous chemical, according to many, in the public common water supply. Now, other U.S. towns and counties that have already banned water fluoridation on the local or regional level, we got Portland, Oregon, Wichita, Kansas, something called the Brushy Creek Municipal Utility District in Texas, State College, Pennsylvania, where there's a major university there, and parts of South Carolina. So in other words, the U.S. is still rather heavily fluoridated. Now, in the UK, we might want to show this slide here. It helps outline what you got on your side of the pond. Fluoride in drinking water. This is according to a source called Pure H2O UK. Where added, fluoride is brought up to 1 milligram per liter in the UK. That's 1 part fluoride to 1 million parts water. The UK sets the maximum levels at 1.5 milligrams per liter in line with World Health Organization guidance. And I wasn't totally aware that the WHO weighed in on that. And I did find also a map of England. And this is interesting. This comes from the UK government itself. The dark blue areas are where there are direct, deliberate fluoridation schemes. And you can see that Birmingham, right in the middle of the country, kind of the lower center of England, is heavily fluoridated. You got Lincoln. People can look at this map, of course. They can freeze the frame. It'll be in the show notes how to look at this. And up north, Newcastle area, there's quite a bit of fluoridation. Then the lighter blue, limited areas, is where there's naturally occurring fluoride at levels greater than 0.5 milligrams. So an important and informative thing there. It's interesting to note, we can show this too. This comes from the same spot in the UK government website. This is from 2020. In terms of coverage, what are known as the West Midlands is the most extensively fluoridated area, followed by parts of the northeast of England. But get this, there are no fluoridation schemes in Scotland, none in Wales, and none in Northern Ireland. However, there are some localized areas of naturally occurring fluoride in the water. So that gives a reasonable outline of this issue. I'll mention that viewers might want to stick around for extra. There's a short video that explains a crucial distinction here between naturally occurring fluoride and the man-made fluoride compounds that come from manufactured aluminum, things like that. So stay tuned for that, a very important distinction to be made.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for that. Yeah, we'll be showing that video clip in